we know how long puppies are allowed to stay with their mothers after a dog has given birth?
I don't.
8 weeks.
Wow.
So the market has decided that women and people who give birth deserve less time with their children than a dog.
Of all the panelists today. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.
The chair recognizes Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and once again, congratulations on this phenomenal hearing on such an important topic. I have to disclose that I have a stake in this fight. When I was first starting my office here, I decided to offer 12 weeks of paid family leave. And in my first 11 or 12 months in office, there have been 6 pregnancies in my congressional office, and six folks have taken pregnancy or medical leave. 5 of them men in my office, new fathers or folks that are taking medical leave, taking care of their families, this has been a very important dynamic. Many of the men in our office have testified how after the birth of their children or in supporting their partners, how critical it has been to be there for in each of these cases, the women in their lives. I would like to submit to the congressional record 2 testimonies from my staffers, Marcus Bettinger and Ariel Ekblad, on the impact of paid family leave in our office. But out of these testimonies, 2 important statements stood out. From my staffer, Marcus, he said, "As I write this today, I am currently home with my oldest son, while my partner visits family in Ohio with our youngest son. This might seem an inconsequential detail, but if I was not able to take this time off from work and be fully paid, my partner would not have been able to travel." And from my chief of staff, when asked about does giving dads less paid parental leave than moms contributes to the pay gap, when asked about that, she said, "My thought is this. There is this often explicit but sometimes tacit assumption that child rearing is the job of the mother. But child rearing is the job of the humans that have collectively decided to have that child." When you have an institutional setup when you have institutional setups that reify that say, oh, actually dads don't need as much time because it's not their job to child rear, it's problematic. It creates expectations for employers who presuppose if I hire a woman in a certain age range, she might leave, but if I hire a man in that same age range, he would not. Ms. Szabo, can you illuminate a little bit on the impact of paid family leave for men and on folks, the positive impacts that could have on people who give birth?
Absolutely. And the sentiments that your staffers have articulated actually came up really poignantly last week on a panel that I moderated at New America on the release of our Men in Care report, Men in Paid Leave specifically. There were 3 dads who talked about the cultural expectations that dads wouldn't take leave. They were able to negotiate, to cobble together. One of them had a wife who had a horrible labor and a baby that was in the NICU, and he was back to work within a week. Unknowing, sort of talked about how even in the childbirth classes and Lamaze and all of the other things he did, there was never a discussion from the hospital system or from his employer or from any of the other men in his life about the importance of men taking leave. So policy is a precondition. We have to design policies that have wage replacement that's high enough that men can afford to take leave. We also need a culture and sort of a discussion and men standing up to say, leave taking is important to me, and here's the way that it allowed me not just to bond with my child, but also to support my partner.
Thank you, Ms. Szabo. Ms. Gressler, you said earlier that you don't believe in a minimum wage. Is that correct? You believe the market should decide?
I don't think that we should take a job opportunity away from somebody if they're willing to work at a particular wage that the government is not allowing them to.
So no, you don't believe in a minimum wage. I take it you don't believe in health care as a right either. Is that correct?
I believe that we should help provide access to health care.
Okay. Do you believe employers should offer health care to every employee that they have?
I think that as part of a benefits package, they should determine what is the best way and what do the workers want.
Okay, so no, you don't believe it should be uniformly offered?
I think it should be what workers want and what employers.
Okay, so the answer is no. So, and similarly, your view on parental leave is to let the market decide. And I think what we've seen here is that the market has decided. Ms. Szabo, 80% of families don't have access and workers don't have access to paid parental leave, correct?
Paid family leave. So
Paid family
care for a
leave.
child or a seriously family member, about a half of moms don't have access
So
to
the
paid
market's
leave.
decided. And what is the most common length of parental or paid family leave that you have seen?
In general, it's like 6 to 8 weeks, but it really depends, and there's not a great there's not a great sample that tells us.
6 weeks. Do we know how long puppies are allowed to stay with their mothers after a dog has given birth?
I don't.
8 weeks.
Wow.
So the market has decided that women and people who give birth deserve less time with their children than a dog. And I think that at its core, has shown that the market has failed to treat people with dignity and with basic respect. And so when that happens, I think it's our job as the public to redefine the rules of society and to treat people who give birth with the dignity that they deserve. Thank you very much.